Hi everyone, Karen here, and today is July 1st. So that means Christmas in July. It's never too early to start thinking about those Christmas cards. So today's the first installment. There's going to be a different video every day. And what I did is I went through my stash and looked at what was still available. And I pulled it all together, and I'm going to make a different card or project. We're going to have a couple projects in there every day with what is already on the market. So today we're going to start off with a snow globe card. And I know there's a lot of snow globe dies out there. This one's from Crafter's Companion. This one's from Pink and Maine. But today we're going to make it just using nesting dies and a rectangle. And it's going to look similar to this. This was my prototype. And I'm also going to do something a little bit different. And I'm going to do it in two different sizes. So we're going to do a 5x7, which is what you see me do a lot of. And I'm also going to do an A2. And you're going to see how the same dies can be used on multiple sizes of cards, and it's perfectly fine. So let me get the camera ready and turn it around, and let's get started. All right, let me bring my camera down a little bit. All right, so to make the 5x7, you are going to want a 1/2 by 2.5 piece of brown. Let me grab my papers here. And this here is going to be the trim. Now, when I did my prototype here, I did not run it through any type of embossing folder or anything, but then I took some and I ran it through, and I think that looks a lot better. So that's what we're going to do today. You're then going to need a 1x3 for the bigger piece in the bottom. You'll need a 5x7 card base or the A2, whichever you're going to do. You'll need a 5x7 pattern paper, or today we're going to do a solid paper and we're going to run it through an embossing folder. You'll need a 4.5 by 6.5 heavyweight white card, and that will be for this piece here. And you just want a nice firm card, so when you're putting the foam underneath it, it's going to have a little bit of structure to it. You're going to want a 4.25 by 6.25 for ink blending. And that's going to be what's behind the snow globe here. You're going to want some circle nesting dies. And I am going to use the Gina K Winter Wonderland set to get my little house. I used the church there. I may use the little house today to put it in here. You're going to want a snow stencil, which the one I used is just this one with a bunch of circles on it, and that worked just fine for snow. An ink folder, an embossing folder that has wood grain on it. And if you don't have one that has wood grain, you can use a stamp that has wood grain, or I'll show you how you can use your scoring board to make wood grain. The embossing folder I'm going to use on the green is the Gina K Flora Holiday Flora, but you can use any embossing folder you have for that. And then I'm going to use Gina K Powder Blue, Sea Glass, and Moonlit Fog. Those are going to be the 3 ink colors I'm going to use. Now, if you wanted to make this an A2 card, the brown's going to be the same. All the nesting dies will be the same. The only thing is your pattern paper will only have to be 5.5 by 4.25. Your heavyweight white card will have to be 5.25 by 4. And then you're going to want something 5 by 3 and 3/4 to do your blending on, and then an A2 card blank. So that will be the difference. I'll have all this, listed. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to take my pile for my 5x7, my pile for my A2, put them all here. Move all this to the side. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is cut the hole for the nesting dies. So you're going to want a nesting die that's probably going to be about 4 inches, I believe this one is. Now you're going to want to take out the 2 biggest ones. Those are the ones we're going to be using. So you're going to take the second largest die, and you're going to decide where you want it on the paper. So you may want to take your sentiment, take whatever sentiment you want to put on the bottom, and I'm going to use this one again. May the joy and happiness snow on you, which is going to take up about that much space. So I'm going to put this nesting die about up here, and I'm going to tape this down. And I'm going to run this through my machine. All right. So we have a hole in this one. Now I'm going to line it up on this one. Here again, I'll see how much space I want on the bottom. So I'm going to put this about here. Tape it down. And run this through the machine. All right. That part is done. Oh, wait, let me grab my glasses. Glasses give a terrible glare when I'm looking at the screen. So when I'm looking down, it's okay. So now we're going to need red paper. You know what, and this was not on the list. I will add this. You're going to need whatever color you want to make your snow globe. I'm going to make mine red. So we're going to line these up, and you're going to want to make them evenly spaced. Now this time I'm using the biggest nesting die and the one size down. We're going to put that on here, and I'm going to run it through the machine. Okay, and I'm going to leave them taped together because I need to make a second one. There's one. I'm going to tape this onto here, run it through again. All right, so now we have our two frames. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue these on here. This is Collall glue. I like it because it's a little slippery when you first put it on, so I can slide things into place. It's not a quick grab glue like some of them are. I do like quick grab glue, but not for something like this where I know I'm going to have to slide it into place a little. And I'm still using my Karen Berniston bottle. I still have not gotten a clog on that. Highly recommend that bottle. All right, so we're going to put this into place. There's one. Here is two. All right, so now we need to put the acetate behind it. So I'm going to grab my red liner tape. You're going to make me touch it. All right, there's one. Do this one. Give it a good press down. Now pull this off. Hopefully it cooperates. Sometimes I fight with this a little bit. All right. We'll take the piece of acetate and I cut this piece of acetate smaller than the white piece, and that way I don't have to worry too much about lining it up. So I cut this piece of acetate cut it about 3.5 inches square. Okay. So that is now all done. So now I'm going to emboss these, but I said I would show you how to do it if you didn't have an embossing folder. So I'm going to take this out. Just line it up and just go down your score. You don't want to go all the way down. Go like part way down and start from the bottom on the next hole, the next line. And then maybe start from the top, do some in the middle. And when you're done, it gives it the wood grain. So if you don't have an embossing folder, you can do it this way, absolutely. Just don't go all the way across, because then it won't look like natural wood grain. So just kind of go halfway, halfway. If you want to have one in the middle randomly, have one start over here, and it will give you, oh, here we go. It will give you the same. It will look just like wood grain. All right, so now let me bring this in so I don't make a complete mess. We're going to take this, and this, I ran some ink over the top of it. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to grab brown. This is warm cocoa. And I'm going to put it on the side that has the raised edges on it, and I'm just going to run it across. Lightly, and it will just catch the raised parts, and you have wood. All right, so now we're going to glue these to the front. We need one long and one short for each side. I'll get my glue again. We'll start with the shorter one. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that. My dog has joined me, Molly, and she's snoring. I have a 15-year-old, well, she's between 15 and 17 years old. We're not exactly sure how old she is. A Beagle Basset mix, and she likes to sit under my craft desk and snore. I have a little corner here that she sits underneath. It's like a little cubby for her under there, and she feels very safe under there and snores away. All right, so we're just going to line these up like that. That will be our base. And I am just lining this up to where the edges of the circle are just about to the top of the wood here that we're using for wood. So it's kind of like what most snow globes look like. Okay, so there's that. Next, we'll do the snow next. Let me grab the folder. Oh no, where'd I put it? I guess we'll stamp first. Not sure where I put the folder down. Now I want, and this set was from a Crafter's Companion set that was glittering snowflakes from a couple years ago. But just use whatever sentiment you have that's snow related. I know we all have a bunch. All right. Let me move this up so you can see. There we go. So this is going to come down here. Just like that. Maybe like that. And I'm going to grab my black ink. Looks pretty good. And this is the Gina K black ink. And I know I've said it before, but I really like this ink because you can use it for alcohol coloring. You can use it for watercoloring. You can use it for pencils. So if you're alcohol coloring and then you decide you want to put some watercolor over the top of it, like with the glitter pens, you absolutely can. It's not going to run on you, which is, really nice. And you don't have to think about it. I just grab that, and then if I change my mind and want to do something else besides alcohol or something, I can change my mind halfway through the project and use both on the same project. And I do have a sticky mat. I don't have a Misty, but I use the Misty sticky mats, and I just tape them down to here. And that's nice to have a sticky mat on your stamping platform. All right, so now that is stamped. There it is. Found the snow. Let's see how many things I can stack up on the side. Okay, so for this, I'm going to use the gray. Let me get my original here. I used the gray to do the snow. So that's what we're going to do again. Oh no, here's the new one. I have my little black brush. So I do have a brush for each color. So I'm going to use a light touch and just kind of go around. Yeah, that's better. And we'll have some down here. And we'll put some down here. Now, if you have a bigger stencil, absolutely, you can just do it all at once. But this is the one I found that I had, that I liked the size of it. I'm just going to move it around. And go around the sentiment a little bit. And maybe a little more over here. And that's good. All right, that one's done. Bring in the A2. And done. All right, that is complete. All right, so the next thing we need to do
is we're going to emboss the background, our matte layer. This one I already did. I wanted to see how it was going to look and if it was going to be okay if I left it plain. And I think it will be, because we're just going to see that edge, and I think that just gives it enough. Where I think with this pattern paper, it was a little bit too busy. But, you know, that's personal preference. So that one's already embossed. So I'm going to take this one. I will get the embossing folder. And the Gina K embossing folders that she has recently started to make, they are made by the same company that makes the Crafter's Companion ones, in case you're curious. And so they absolutely fit through the Gemini the same way the Crafter's Companion ones do. She made a point of going to the same company because she had recommended the Gemini Junior for so long that she wanted to make sure her folders fit through there fine. So, all right, so, okay, so this is all here. This one's over here. So the next thing we need to do is we need our white paper, which is not here. All right, let me go grab the white paper. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I'm going to do the 5x7 first. So if we're going to look at this, this is going to be behind here. So we really only need to color some of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the circle we cut out. You know, this is what we cut out of here. So this is our opening. So I am going to put it on here. And I'm going to put a little pencil mark here and here. Actually, no, let me take that back. Let's flip this over. I'm going to use the largest nesting die because that will give us a little bit more leeway. And I'm going to mark on the outside of the die. Okay. Because our circle is smaller than that. All right, so now we know this is the area we have to color. And I like, for sky, I like to use Gina K powder blue and sea glass. It makes a nice color. So first I'm going to use some sea glass. And I'm kind of going kind of heavy-handed on this paper. All right, I'm going to do some sea glass on this one. If you haven't used Gina K inks before, I would suggest buying two colors that you like to use and blend them together and see how, when you have the colors, that they really do blend. If you have a pink and a blue, you really are going to get purple in the middle. They are truly blending inks, and trying to blend and talk at the same time. And they dry very smooth. They're really quite nice. I like them for blending. And we'll add some of this in here. All right, let's see. Yep, that's good for that. And that's good for that. That is done. All right, so the next thing we'll have to do is cut out our buildings. So this set is called Winter Wonderland. And as I'm recording this video, this is still available on the site. Gina K is pretty good about keeping her dies around for a while. She doesn't necessarily, you know, do one run of them and get rid of them. She keeps them around, which is nice. Let's see. I don't need the circle. I don't think well, maybe I'll cut a lamppost, see what happens. I want to see. I put 2 houses and a lamppost inside. Oh, I can. Okay. There's the little snowman. Maybe we'll cut a little snowman. All right, so let's put these away. And grab my white paper. And actually, I'm going to cut these out in light gray this time. So I ended up coloring the other one light gray, and I think I'm just going to start off with the light gray. I'll just give it a bit of a shadow. So I'm just going to line these up, tape them all down. And this is just painter's tape, like I always use. And I will use it and use it and use it until it just doesn't stick anymore. You know, and any little tiny little stamps you have, or stamps or dies that you have, will work for this. You know, don't feel like you have to run out and buy this Gina K one. Anything small will work. Let's see. That one's good. One there. One here. Lamppost is good. Okay. I'll put those away later. That in the trash. Now I just have to decide. I think I'll have the church and the snowman. No, I'm going to put the lamppost next to the church. And then in the little one, I'll have the 2 houses with the snowman in between. How about that? That sounds like a plan. So now we need to decide where we want to put these. So that's going to be our center there. So that's going to be about here. And remember, this is all going to be underneath. You do not have to be exact with this. So now I'm going to take a little bit of paint pen. And I am going to draw some snow in here. You don't want that to be a straight line. They put a little snow on the roofs. Yeah, that was very brave doing that on top there. Here we go. All right, so let's do one at a time here. Put those over here. Get rid of this. All right. Take my glue. And we're going to put this on the snow. we'll do our big building. That's good. Move it up a little bit. And we'll put our snowman in the middle. Put him a little lower like he's out in the yard. And I'm just going to go across the bottom here, make it look like there's snow. You don't want it to be a real straight line. All right, we'll set that to dry. Let's bring in the other one. Glue down the church. Bottom to be about here. And our lamp post. Lamp post does not need a lot of glue. Close this up. Now we're going to draw in some snow. All right, we'll let that dry. All right, while that dries, let's get out our foam. Now we only need to go around. Now you're going to want thicker foam. A lot of times I use the 1/16 foam, and this is twice that, so this is 1/8. That way you have room for your shakers. So we only really need to go around the circle. And I will put some down here for support. You don't want a floppy card. All right, so that one is done. We'll do the same thing here. Oh, let's see if I have enough in this roll. Nope, let me go grab a new roll. Well, looks like all I have left is the... Nope, that's the same. No, this is the thicker foam. And we'll go across the bottom. Yeah, that's why I said to use a heavier piece of cardstock for this. Give it a little more support. One more piece here. Okay. that is all done. Get rid of that. All right, so now everything is ready. Oops, I put that foam too close to the edge. All right, let's see. Now all we have left to do is to put the shakers in here. I will do the small one first. Let's make sure that's dry. Yeah, that's dry. Now, before I put this together, I'm going to take the anti-static brush that I have. And I am going to brush all of this on the inside. And this one. Keep it from sticking. All right, so I'm going to use a combination of glitter and these little sequins. Carefully pile that up, whoop, up in the middle. That should be plenty. Close that lid. Now peel this off. There we go. Now, we're going to line this up. See if I can not now. Yeah, okay, my head's not in the way. You're going to line this up to where you like the picture. Don't worry if something's hanging off the edge because you can just trim that. So just put it on here the way you like the picture and press it all down. Right, so now, just give it a couple flicks. Everything will come loose and your shaker is complete. Now I'm just going to trim this a little bit. All right, now we need some glue. Trim a little bit off the top. We'll glue the back onto here. There we go. And this will get glued onto the card base. This is a top folding card. Make sure we're not putting it on upside down. And press it all down. All right, A2, finished. I'll do the same thing with this one. So I think all the other Christmas videos I will do like this too, more of a craft along style than editing it down. So we'll see. If you guys like it or not, let me know. Right, line it up to the way you like it. Press down. And if you like the video, please give me a like, because that makes a difference to YouTube. Now you can see this one I definitely put in a different spot than I had originally planned, but that's fine because I can trim it all off. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Just trim it all off. Now we'll do the same thing. We will glue it to here. Right, we're in the middle. Now, if you did have a snow globe die and you were going to use this instead of piecing these 3 pieces together, you would cut out the outside of the snow globe and glue that on the top, and then you would use the inside piece and cut that through the card. I just wanted to show you, you can do this without the die. And I like to do it recessed like this because when you're doing a snow globe, you want this to be thin. And if to put the foam on, it's not thick enough. So when you do it recessed like this, it lets you do the snow globe. Get this on here. All right. See if there's anything else I want to trim. I think I want to trim this here. There we go. So there we have it, folks. We have an A2 and a 5x7 shaker card using the same dies, same stamps, but you can do it as 2 different sizes. So I hope you'll consider this when you're making your cards, if you make an A2 or if you make the 5x7. And I hope you enjoyed this. And see you again tomorrow for day 2. And until then, stay crafty.